Hey everybody, John from the Book Leads. I just wanted to give an intro to season 4. I actually just got off one of my conversations for that season. So this is just a quick kind of just introduction to season 4. I'm grateful for everybody that I've spoken to on this series. It's been amazing. I never anticipated it would get this far. It's not that I had any doubt seep in because I was just kind of building it as I went. But now that I'm going into season 4 and I have 120 episodes under my belt, well, 119, the first episode was me talking about what the series was going to be. There are some repeat guests in there. It's just incredible what I have learned in this series, and I've called it my Masterclass in Humanity. If you're connected to me on LinkedIn, go check that out. It's featured on my profile. Um, yeah, there's just so much that I can say about the people that I've talked to on here, the books that we've covered. Just to give you kind of some insight on that Masterclass in Humanity, let me just go find that article just so I can share it with you, and you get a sense for what it is that I'm taking away from this. Um, because it's more than just a podcast where I'm sharing who I am and they're sharing who they are. There's more to it than that. There's more that I've discovered as I've gone along. Um, Humanity. I mean, it sounds fucking hokey, but humanity, it's helped me in many ways that I've kind of articulated through different episodes. I've opened up about shit that I've never told anybody, and it wasn't because I didn't want to necessarily. It's just amazing what happens when you're in the zone with somebody and you're creating a moment, when you're creating an episode. There is an alchemy. I really don't think either me, or the other person leaves the interview. I use the word interview. I don't like using that word. Leaves that conversation the same way. I think we both leave changed. I think I have heard people say, guests say, specialists in their fields, professional adults, people that have thought about the impact they want to leave on the world. And they've said, to certain things that I've asked, no one's ever asked me that. I've never thought about it that way. Some of my recommendations on LinkedIn speak to that fact. One was great where they spoke about how they viewed themselves changing because of that the conversation kind of prompted them in a certain way, um, just to think about themselves in a certain way. So from that masterclass in humanity post that I posted on LinkedIn, I say, here are the things that I've learned from this podcast journey. Just get started. Like I said, I chipped away at this thing. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm chipping away at it. And the thing is, what I've always said about the goal versus the journey is, some people give up because they want the goal of the podcast that's going to reach millions of people or whatever. That'd be amazing. I think that'd be amazing. But at the same time, I want to make sure that I enjoy every conversation, and I have. So just get started. Anything you're doing, just get started. Again, masterclass in humanity. These are the things that I've learned. The first one, just get started. The second one, the healing and vulnerability. That speaks to what I mentioned before about me opening up about things that I had never opened up about. And I've mentioned in this series my own anxiety. I've mentioned how talking about that, being vulnerable and open and transparent about that, how that's helped me. And I believe most of what ails us, if we speak it out loud, if we get it off our chests, that energy that we were using to suppress it, we can use for other things. We can use to build other things, create other things, design other things. Number 3, the freedom of detachment. I remember all these conversations where these things came up. Um, Freedom of detachment, that if you are doing your due diligence, if you're trying to do good work and you put it out there, whether it's a podcast, whether I'm speaking, whether I'm writing, as long as I try to put out the best that I can, once it's out there, there's nothing I can do. It's on to the next one. So there's that power of detachment. Or listen to your inner voice. It's amazing how much I've seen in clients for leadership coaching giving up on their inner voice, giving up on their inner selves. They don't listen to themselves, and that's what gets us in trouble, is when we don't listen to that gut instinct that we have. Number 5, the clarity in chaos. I love chaos. Um, and when things aren't working out, when things seem like they're out of your control, to me, sometimes that's almost when you're in that situation, not saying look for it, but when you're in that situation, it's almost a blessing in disguise because you have no control of anything. So instead of trying to wrangle everything together, you can chip away at what you can control. Number 6, the evolution of motivation. And I haven't looked at this list in a long time. I'm kind of impromptu reading and just coming up with this particular episode right now, this introduction as we go. But the evolution of motivation, my motivation for this podcast was started off a certain way, and it's morphed into something completely different. I've talked about this on the podcast where initially it was about getting my voice, getting my thought leadership out there, and it's morphed into from trying to share what I've seen up until that point of whatever episode I'm creating with somebody to yes, I'm doing that, but there's so much more to learn. I realized how much more I have to learn. I did have the knowledge. I could back up the knowledge that I started with that I wanted to share. But once you keep that curiosity going, you realize how much more there is to learn in the world. So my motivation has evolved. Number 7, the imperfection of conversation. These things aren't scripted. They're not perfect. I think I think we fight against ourselves when we need something to be perfect from the get-go. So for me, conversations aren't perfect. For me, the beauty is creating that as you go. So nothing is scripted, nothing is prepared. Um, I have the general questions that I ask, but we just see where it goes. So it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't want that pressure on my guest. I don't want that pressure on me. We just see where the conversation goes. The power of your tribe. Find your people, find your right people. You can have your friends, you can have your best friends. People are there for support, but find the people that are really going to fire you up and empower you, because some of these conversations I've had have empowered me more than any other relationship I've ever had, because we're both seeking that kind of ability to change the world. So find the power of your tribe, find those right people. What sucks is it is a matter of trial and error. It's hard because you can go through life for the longest time and not find that right particular group of people that is good for your soul. Sounds hokey again, I know it, but there's something about when a conversation or certain people light you up, fire you up, and that's what I'm finding here. You will do what you want. And I'm reading the list and I'm forgetting the emotion that I put into what I wrote. But what this means is if you want to do something, you'll do it. You'll do what you want to do. So if I wanted to start a podcast, there was insecurity, there was doubt, but I wanted to make it work. I wanted to see it through. It wasn't easy. You start something and you're like, who the hell am I to start this journey when there's so many millions of podcasts out there? I'm not even trying to compete with them. I'm trying to get my story out there, my network out there, lessons out there, stories out there that kind of help you and make you feel a little less lonely in development. You can see where certain people have gone through certain things that you've gone through yourself. I think the worst part is thinking that, we're the only ones going through certain things. So you will do what you want. Um, if you really want to see something happen, you will see it through. And if you don't have that feeling like, I want this to happen, I'm not going to stop until it does, ask yourself whether you're doing the right thing. It's all a matter of trial and error and experimentation. And number 10 in this list of what I've learned so far, the need for humanity, the need for more of these conversations. I don't get tired of doing this because it really is impactful for me to learn from different people that I find or find me or have been referred to me or reach out. Uh, yeah, people are there for the taking, not in a creepy kidnapping way. Their lessons, their stories, all of that is there if you're curious enough to ask questions, to learn about them genuinely. Not because I'm trying to do a podcast or I'm trying to get a certain number of listeners, nothing like that. For me, that's why I can keep going with this, because it is a genuine curiosity that I have. Hopefully, you enjoy it. Hopefully, you appreciate it. Hopefully, you're infusing some of this curiosity into your own life. But again, season 4 coming. I try to do about 40 episodes a season. I think almost booked for 20 slots this season, with like 20 more invitations out there that have to be finalized as of the time of this recording. Maybe I'll go further than 40, maybe up to 50, who knows? But thank you everybody for watching, listening, subscribing, sharing, giving me kudos on the series, giving me credit on the series. That motivates me a lot. I just talked to this in this conversation I just had this morning, an episode that'll come out later, about doubt, and how it's healthy to have some doubt. It keeps you humble, it keeps you ready, it keeps you working hard. But it is good to hear from people what they're taking away from the series. So thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.